Yeah, so what I was telling about this particular poem, the poem called An Introduction, which is written by Kamala Das, and the poem is a powerful exploration of what that called as a identity, right? Personal freedom, and we talk about language and gender, isn't it? So, if you talk about that, each line points out to nothing but the experience of the poet Kamala Das. So, like we read in the poem called the Sunshine Cat, we also find out this is the same. But this one is something called as a mixed of it. Like if you talk about that, the poem begins with, I don't know politics, but I know the names. It means what? The poet wants to say that I may not understand politics. I don't know politics. It means I may not understand politics deeply, but I'm familiar with the names of political leaders. Got the point? But I know the names. I'm familiar with the names of political leaders, of those in power, and can repeat them like I can also recall the names of powerful people easily, just like how we remember every day what things. Got the point? Third is called as a. You want to ask something? No. So days of week or names of month, beginning with an Nehru. Days of week or names of months, beginning with Nehru. It means their names are as familiar to me as the days of the week or months of the year. So days of weeks or names of months, beginning with Nehru. It means their names are as familiar to me as days of the week of the year, starting with Nehru, India's first prime minister. Right. So I'm Indian, very brown, born in Malabar. I'm Indian. So who is Indian? Kamala Das is stating that I'm Indian, very brown, born in Malabar. So what did it say? I'm an Indian woman. Who said that? Means the poet. I'm an Indian woman with brown skin. Right. And I was born in where? Malabar. So where Malabar is? A region in Kerala. Right? A region in Kerala. So I speak three languages, writing two, dream in one. So the poet states that I can speak three different languages and two dream in one. Two, sorry, I speak three languages, write in two, and dream in one. It means the poet says that I can speak two different languages, I write in two languages, but I dream in just one language. Right? Probably her native tongue, isn't it? Native tongue. I dream in just one language. Don't write in English. They said English is not your mother tongue. Why not leave? Why not leave me alone? Critics, friends, and visiting cousins. So the poet states that some people advised me, or advised her not to write in English. Right. So why? Now they said that English is not mine or the poet's native language. So I should not use it. Isn't it? Me alone, critics, friends, visiting cousins. So the poet states that I feel frustrated because everyone. So who are they? Critics, friends, and even relatives, right? They try to control my choices. Isn't it? It's exactly like the Sunshine Cat. So here also the poet loses her identity, personal freedom, isn't it? So similar to that, she pointed that everyone tries to control my choices. Are you there? Every one of you, why not let me speak in? Every one of you, why not let me speak in? So the poet says that why can't I have that freedom? Why can't I have that freedom to speak in any language I prefer? Right. Any language I like, the language I speak. So, because language is personal, right? Language is personal, and I should be allowed to express myself in whichever language I chose. So, becomes mine, its distortion, its squareness, all mine, mine alone. So, the way I speak English might be different or imperfect. Because he said, what did she say? Becomes mine, its distortions, its squareness, right? So the way the poet says that she speaks English might be different or imperfect, but it is uniquely the poet's. Whether she speaks wrong, whether she speaks imperfect, whether she speaks means distorted, but all belongs to her. She will take the blame. So all mine, mine alone. My language, even with its flaws, belongs to me alone. Flaws means mistakes, errors, right? So it is half English, half Indian. It is half English, half Indian, funny perhaps, but it is honest. So my language is a mix of what? English and Indian influences, right? Indian influence or Indian influences or Indian. Uh, it may sound strange, but it is sincere. It may sound strange, but it is sincere. So it is as human as I am human. Don't you see? It voices my joys, my longings, my hopes, and it is useful to me as coin is to crows or roaring to the lions. So the poet here said that what meant just like me, right? So what did she say? It is half English, half Indian, funny perhaps, but it is honest. So that what my language is a mix of English and Indian influences. It may sound strange, but it is honest and sincere, right? So it is as human as I am human. So just like me, my language is also alive and real. So you see, it voices my joys, my longings, my hopes, right? So the poet says that what my language expresses my happiness, my desires, and my emotions. So hopes, and it is useful to me as a coin is to crows or roaring to the lion. So the poet says that my language is as natural and essential to me as a coin is to crows. So like the crow who makes the car, right? Coin. So similar to that, my language is natural to me, isn't it? How I speak and means what I speak, it's completely referring to my language. So my language is as natural and essential to me. So is to crows or roaring to the lions. It just like animals express themselves naturally. So I also express myself through my language. So, is human speech the speech of the mind that is here and not there? A mind that sees and hears and is aware, not the deep blind speech of trees in storm or monsoon clouds or of rain or the incoherent mutterings of the blazing. So, the poet said, is human speech the speech of the mind that is? My language is a what? Human way. My language is a human way of expressing what? Thoughts and the feelings. Right. So here and not there, a mind that sees and hears and. So the poet says that my mind is active, my mind is aware, my mind is observant of the world, right? And the observant of the world around me. So it is aware, not the deep blind speech. My speech is meaningful. My speech is meaningful. My speech is not empty or meaningless. So it is of trees in storm or of monsoon clouds or of rain or the incoherent mutterings of the blazing. So the poet says that what means it is not like what? It is not like the natural sounds of storm and rain. Right. My language has a purpose and meaning. My language has purpose and meaning. Incoherent mutterings of the blazing. It is not meaningless. It is not meaningless like the noises of destruction. It is not like funeral pyre. Funeral pyre means called as a means, that's something called as a somebody died, right? So funeral pyre. I was child and latter day. I was child latter day. So the poet says that I was once child and then I grew up, isn't it? So told me I grew up for I became tall. My limbs swelled and one or two places sprouted hair. So the poet said that, but people told me I was growing because my body changed, right or not? So told me I grew, for I became tall, my limbs. People told me I was growing and my body changed. Isn't it? Swelled and one or two places sprouted hair. So swelled, it's something called as I grew older, right? My body developed physically, swelled, and one or two places sprouted hair. You also find out some of the places where when, human being have hair. So as I grew, you can say that yes. When I asked for love, When I asked for love, not knowing what else to ask. When I asked for love, not knowing what else to ask. So, as a young woman, right, I learned for what? I learned for, I desired for love. When I asked for love, not knowing what else to ask. So, as a young woman, I desired for love, though I did not fully understand what is love or what it means. So, for he drew a youth obsessing into the bedroom and closed the door. For he drew a youth obsessing into the bedroom and closed the door. Did not beat me, but my sad woman body felt so beaten. Now, you can see that what the poet Kamala Das stated that a man took a 16 years old. A man took a 16-year-old boy into a room, right? Bedroom and closed the door. He did not beat me. He did not physically hurt me. But my sad woman body felt so beaten. I felt emotionally hurt and broken inside, isn't it? So the weight of my breast and womb crushed me. The weight of my breast and womb crushed me. So the poet said that my identity as a woman felt heavy. My identity as a woman felt heavy and burdensome. Right. I shrunk pitifully. I felt small, weak, and powerless. Right. So then I wore a shirt and my brother's trousers. So the poet said that after that experience, what happened? Tried to change myself. I tried to change myself. How? Now I wear means what a shirt and my brother's trousers. Cut my hair short and ignored. I dressed like a boy. I dressed like a boy. I cut my hair and I tried to escape womanhood. I tried to change my identity, woman, to become man. So my womanliness, dress and sarees, be girl, be white, they said, be embroidered, be cook, be a quarreler with servants. So the poet stated that means, but people told me what? But people told me to dress like a traditional woman in a sari. So they wanted me to follow traditional female roles, right? So be a wife or do embroidery. Embroidery means teaching. So tailoring, cook. So be a quarreler with servants. They wanted me to behave like a what typically Carolian woman, right? Who argues with servants and what follows societal rules. So therefore, it is stated: be a quarreler with servants, fit in, oh, right, belong, cried the categorizers, don't sit. So, what society wanted her to do, the society wanted her to fit in a specific category, not be different. On walls or peep in through our less draped windows. They wanted me to what? They wanted me to behave properly and not to be, interesting or curious or rebellious. Rebellious means called as a jagadalu, right? So be Amy or be Kamala or better. So they wanted to make me or they wanted me to take that what? Take on a clear identity. Either as English woman, whose name is called as Amy, right? So or an Indian woman whose name is Kamala, or better still be Madhavi Kuti. So then even suggested I use a pen name called Madhavi Kuti to fit the expectations of the society. Right. So it means they want me to what? Be you. Right. But at the same time, they want me to what? They want me to snatch my personal freedom. So then after, still be Madhavi Kuttu, it is time to. They even suggested me what I should use a pen name Madhavi Kuttu to fit expectations of the society. Choose a, no, choose a name, a role. Don't play pretending games. Choose a name, a role. Don't play pretending games. Don't play at schizophrenia or be an info. Right. So what did it say? They did not, take a clear identity. So instead of doing what, choose a name, a role, don't play pretending games. So they insisted what, I take a clear identity instead of exploring who I really am. Right. Don't play at schizophrenia. What do you mean by schizophrenia? They did not want me to have different sides of personality. So schizophrenia is a disease. What happened? Now one side you become a angry woman, and the other side you become sad. So you have a different role, different personality. So don't play at schizophrenia or be an info. That told me not to express my emotions openly, right? So even in heartbreak, nymphomania, nymph. So which is nothing but called as emotional, right? Jilted in love, I met a man, loved him. Jilted in love, I fell in love with a man. That's what the poet stated. Call him not by any name, he is every man. So the poet said that he doesn't need a name, he represents all man. He represents what? All man. Why not in the same manner? Means, why do we want to change the woman? Why don't we call that she is a woman, right? And she represents all the women, isn't it? So means he represents all men. Who wants a woman just as I am every? So he symbolizes all men who seek love, right? Just as I represent all women who do the same. So, woman who seeks love in him, the hungry has. So, the poet said that man or he is like a river, right? So, he is like a river rushing towards love. So, of rivers in me, the ocean styleless. And the poet said that what she compares herself as an ocean, right? And stated that I'm waiting patiently in love. I'm waiting patiently. So one side woman is in a patient, the other side man is a rushing, right? Rushing means quickly. Waiting. Who are you? I ask each and everyone. So the poet wonders who people really are. Right. The answer is it is I anywhere and everyone responds with I because everyone sees themselves as unique. Everywhere I see the one who calls himself I. So the poet said that everywhere she goes, she sees people define themselves what? As I. Right. In this world, he is tightly packed like the sword in its sheath. So the poet said that people hide their, true selves, just like a sword hidden in its sheath. Sheath, you understand? The round shape where the sword is kept. I did not see that. Pen. Give me the pen. So you can say that what? Uh, this is, and here you would find out, right? This is short, it is kept, and here it's yeah. Did you get that? Oh. So that's what the poet stated. Means, what do you find out? Showed in its shape. It is I who drink lonely. So the poet said that people hide their true selves, right? Just like a sword hidden in its sheath, right? Sword in its sheath. It is I who drink lonely. And the poet says that as the woman, I am the one who feels lonely, drinking alone at night. Drinks at 12. Drinks at 12, midnight in hotels of strange towns. So the poet says that how she finds herself alone in unfamiliar places and that she desires comfort. That she desires comfort. So it is I who laugh. It is I who make love. It is I who laugh. It is I who make love. So the poet experiences happiness and love. The poet experiences what? Happiness and love. Right? Just like everyone else. Isn't it? And then I feel shame. It is I who lie dying. So the poet also feels guilt. The poet also feels what? Guilt, sadness, and fear of death. Right? With a rattle in my throat, I'm sinner. With a rattle in my throat, I'm sinner. So the poet said that she has sinned. Right? She has sinned. Sinned means called as the bad things that you did. Right? Sinned means papa. Right? So I have sinned. Right? Like everyone else. So like everyone does the sin. So I also have done the sin. So I'm sent, I'm the beloved and the betrayed. So the poet also said that, but I'm also pure, I'm also loving, and I'm also worthy. Right. So I'm also betrayed. Right. I have no joys that are not yours, no acts which are not yours. I too call myself I. So the poet said that what my happiness and my pain, my happiness and my pain are the same as yours, right? Acts which are not yours, I too call myself I. And at the end, we are all the same and we all call ourselves I, isn't it? So that's what is the famous poet called Kamala Das, who's writing specifically focusing in most of the or all of our poems, referring nothing but about personal identity, language, and gender expectations, love, self-acceptance, right? So Kamala Das challenges society's rules in this point, right? And expresses what her desire and expresses the desire of the society too, right? So, and what her desire is to be free and true to herself, isn't it? So that's what is all about the point, right? So, when you talk about the title which we pointed that an introduction. So the poem An Introduction is indicating nothing but a very heart-touching and personal to the poet. And you can also find out confessional piece. Confession, you understand? Confessional piece that explore themes of and identity. Themes of identity. So where gender roles, language, and self-expression is found, right? And that's why we can say an introduction is justified because it is the personal introduction. So again, it is also indicating about introduction to colonial and post-colonial identity. And it is also introduction to female experience or feminine experience, right? So, and it is also known as introduction to the universal self, right? So the point moves beyond what? The point moves beyond the individual to a universal identity. The poet declares, I too call myself I. I too call myself I. And that emphasizes what? That her experiences, emotions, and struggles that are shared by many, making the poem an introduction not just to herself, but to every woman who faces the similar kind of a constraints or restriction. So, therefore, you can say the title, an introduction, is a fitting as it represents a personal, social, and universal exploration. Right. It is also considered as it serves as a powerful proclamation. Right. So, of the poet's individuality. Proclamation means declaration of the poet's individuality. Her defiance, her defiance against a societal norms. So she shows means a protest against the societal norms and an assertion of personal and collective identity. So that's what is called as a